Welcome to the deep dive. We take the sources you send us, dig in, and pull out the most important, the most interesting bits.
Exactly. It's about getting you the core knowledge quickly, entertainingly.
Yeah.
Kind of an express lane to being well-informed.
And hopefully with a few of those, aha moments.
Today, we're diving into some fantasy excerpts. We've got bits from Gunner's Apprentice, the Black Prism, the Blood Mirror, and the Burning White.
Right, so fantasy novels. And they seem packed with, well, everything magic, politics, war.
Oh, definitely. They paint a picture of a really complex world. Intricate magic, political maneuvering, big conflicts.
And what's cool is how even just these snippets show how connected everything is. Characters popping up again, situations evolving.
Yeah, you get a real sense of a living world. So if you're into world building or character development, or just a good, gripping story.
And stick around. Okay, let's maybe kick off with some of the key players and the conflicts they're wrapped up in right from the start.
Sounds good. First up, there's Gavin Guile. He's called the Prism.
The Prism, that sounds important. Like magically significant.
Very. It implies immense power, a central figure in their society. But we see him immediately facing serious political heat.
Yeah.
And personal stuff, too.
Yeah, the whole revelation about having a son, Kip. That hits him hard.
It does. And there's that tense scene with the White, another powerful figure clearly confronting him about Kip.
And she brings up his past betrothal to Caris, too, right? Twisting the knife.
Exactly. It's not about shouting threats. It's subtle manipulation. It really tells you something about how power works in this world.
Influence, strategy, keeps everyone guessing.
Pretty much.
Huh.
Creates this constant uncertainty around him.
Okay, so that's Gavin's precarious situation. Then there's the son, Kip. He seems to start off in a really bad spot.
Oh, absolutely. He's on the run. Town's been burned. Soldiers, war dogs. It's desperate.
The writing really puts you there, doesn't it? Escaping in the dark, smart move, using the darkness like that.
Resourceful, even terrified. And that river crossing?
Wow. Ugh, the rats. Yeah, that was brutal. Really drives home the danger he's in.
It certainly does. And then there's Caris.
Right. Caris, her first appearance, bowing to the White but kind of ignoring Gavin, speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. Hints at history, complicated relationships,
And later we see her as this really capable archer.
Yeah, totally focused, calculating this incredibly difficult shot at Satrap Garadul.
Satrap Garadul, like a governor, sort of a regional leader.
Exactly, a high-ranking official. And Caris is trying to take him out, or at least aiming for him.
And she's also delivering a note for the White.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, what's the White really playing at? And where does Caris fit into these plans?
So many layers already. Okay, let's dig a bit deeper into these relationships. Gavin and Kip, for instance.
Ah, yes. That one involves quite a bit, even in these excerpts. It goes from Gavin just acknowledging Kip exists
to actually showing pride, real pride.
That moment where he calls him son is quite powerful.
Especially amidst all the chaos and magic and war, a real human anchor.
And you see Gavin's internal conflict, right? Coming to terms with his past, this new responsibility. It's a solid bit of character development.
Then the complete opposite dynamic seems to be with his brother, Dazen.
Oh, yeah. Fracture doesn't even begin to cover it. You feel the resentment coming off Dazen.
Such different personalities.
Yeah.
And clearly a ton of bad blood there.
That scene in the prison cell, Gavin taunting Dazen, it hints at some really deep-seated issues.
But then there's that twist. The guy in the prison
isn't Gavin, it's Dazen.
Whoa. Okay, so Dazen is in prison thinking he's Gavin, or wrestling with guilt, delusion.
It seems like a mix of guilt and delusion, yeah. It completely flips your understanding of what's going on.
That's a huge reveal. Really changes things.
It's a great example of how the story plays with your expectations.
Yeah.
And the complexity doesn't stop there. Gavin and Caris.
Right, their past engagement. And now Kip's existence throws another wrench in the works.
You get glimpses into Caris's memories, her betrothal to Gavin, but also her past with Dazen.
So she knew both brothers. Wow. No wonder she seems conflicted.
Exactly. Everyone's carrying baggage, secrets, old wounds, tangled connections.
Okay, so we have the main players, their messy relationship, but there are other key figures too, right?
Oh, yeah. The White, for one, clearly manipulative, powerful. She's even thinking about her successor, planning long term.
Always thinking ahead. Then there's Iron Fist, a commander.
Yeah, commander of the Blackguard. Think elite soldiers. But surprise, he's got ties to this other group, the Order of the Broken Eye.
Hidden loyalties. That always spells trouble.
Almost always. And Liv Danavis.
She gets caught up in things, becomes a drafter.
What's a drafter again? Get into that.
You will, definitely. But yeah, Liv's caught in the middle. Then there's Andros Guile, Gavin's father.
He's in prison, but still pulling strings.
Oh, big time. Master strategist, manipulator, even locked up.
Runs in the family, maybe?
Seems like it. And finally, Marisha. the spy mistress.
Her loyalty gets questioned, and then she just disappears. With important documents. Vanishes, taking secrets with her. Adds another layer of mistrust and intrigue.
Okay, this world is buzzing with secrets and plots. Let's talk about the magic. You mentioned draft.
Right, drafting Luxon, it's the core magic system. Basically, manipulating light and solidifying it into this substance, Luxon.
And it's based on colors.
Yes, different colors have different properties.
Okay.
And importantly, a drafter's power depends on light. Darkness weakens them.
Makes sense. Sunlight fuels light magic.
Pretty much. And what makes Kip stand out, besides being Gavin's son, is that he's a full-spectrum polychrome.
Meaning?
He can draft all the colors.
Hey.
Which is incredibly rare. Most drafters only get one, maybe two colors.
So he's like uniquely powerful from the get-go.
Potentially, yes. It marks him as incredibly significant, like having the whole rainbow to work with when others just have, say, blue.
Gotcha. And we see drafting used in practical ways.
Oh, yeah. Gavin uses green Luxon to physically reinforce a gate. Smart defensive move.
Green for resilience, maybe? Structure?
Seems like it. He also uses it to propel a skimmer, like a boat, across water. So, force 2.
And Caris uses green in combat as well.
She does, shows its versatility. And then there's Kip.
Right. When he's terrified or enraged.
He instinctively drafts green armor around himself. Raw power, pure reaction. Shows his potential, even if it's uncontrolled at first.
Is there a downside? Limitations?
Definitely. Luxon apparently shatters when it hits mirror armor. So there are counter strategies involved. It's not just raw power.
Okay, interesting. Adds attack there.
And we get hints of other rare abilities too. Caris is mentioned as a disjunctive bichrome green and red, specifically. And Kip's full spectrum. It suggests the system has a real depth.
It sounds like it. Okay, so shifting gears slightly, but related. There are some big themes emerging here too. War, obviously.
Huge theme. The conflicts aren't just background noise. They shape everything. You feel the impact on people, on society. That siege of Garriston sounds brutal.
Desperate measures, high stakes.
Exactly. And war brings out, well, complicates loyalty, doesn't it? We see shifting allegiances.
Like Liv spying on Gavin.
Yeah, or Marisha vanishing with those documents. Betrayals, hidden motives.
Yeah.
It's all tied into the conflict.
An Iron Fist situation really highlights that loyalty issue, too.
Right. Blackguard commander, but secretly linked to the Order of the Broken Eye. Where do his true loyalties lie? It's a classic conflict.
And Taya, another character mentioned, seems to be grappling with her duty, too. Difficult missions.
Yeah. Her loyalty seems tested, evolving. It shows loyalty isn't simple. It's complex, often painful.
Which leads nicely into identity, another big theme running through this.
Definitely. The characters are all wrestling with who they are, where they fit.
Kip's journey seems central to that. From being this unknown kid
to finding out he's the Prism's son and a ridiculously powerful drafter. Maybe even this prophesied figure, the Lightbringer.
Ah, the prophesied hero. A fantasy staple, but how does it feel unique here?
Well, we see him having to actually deal with it, confront his past, learn to control this power, figure out what it means for him. It's not just handed to him on a plate.
Right, it's a struggle. And Gavin's on the flip side, losing power.
It seems that way in some excerpts. He's struggling internally. Who is he? Without the power he's always had. It's a compelling question.
And Deason, his identity is completely fractured, trapped by delusion and guilt.
Yeah, his sense of self is shattered. It really makes you think about how power or the lack of it or guilt can fundamentally alter who you are or who you think you are.
So putting it all together, these snippets are just full of twists and intrigue. Deception seems key.
Absolutely. Gavin's masquerade, whatever that fully entails, is a constant source of tension, the risk of being found out.
And Andros the father, playing his manipulation games even from prison.
Long-term plans, always maneuvering. And even Kip starts showing strategic sense in battle. He's learning fast.
And the action sounds intense. Garrison's Gate, Caris' assassination attempt.
Kip in battle, unleashing that raw power. These moments are where you see the big reveals, too.
Like Kip discovering his full potential.
Yeah, we're finding out the truth about who's really in that prison. Iron Fist's secret allegiance.
It keeps you guessing. Subverts expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The twists aren't just for shock value. They often tie back into those deeper themes. Identity, loyalty, the consequences of the past.
Wow. Okay. This has been, well, a really deep dive, appropriately named. It's clear this world is incredibly rich. Magic, politics, characters under immense pressure.
Absolutely. And these excerpts, they really are just a taste, aren't they? A glimpse into something much bigger.
We've barely scratched the surface, I imagine.
For sure. But hopefully this discussion gives you a good handle on the core element, a shortcut to understanding what makes these stories tick.
Something to build on if you decide to, read the whole series.
Precisely.
So as we wrap up, maybe something for you, the listener, to think about.
Yeah, consider identity. How does having extraordinary power, like Kip discovers, or losing it, like Gavin perhaps faces, change who you are at your core? We see both sides with the Guile brothers.
Or think about loyalty. What happens when your personal ties, your history, clash with your duty or larger allegiance? Iron Fist is the perfect example. But Taya, too.
That's a great point. And one more, the ethics of it all. Deception, manipulation. When the stakes are literally the fate of the world, like Andros seems to believe, where do you draw the line?
Heavy question, but fascinating ones, raised directly by these stories.
Definitely food for thought. Reflect on what grabbed you the most during our chat. Maybe it's time to pick up the books themselves.
Couldn't agree more. This dive just gives you the starting point. Now we turn it back to you. What sources should we tackle next?
Yeah, send them our way. Let us know what you want us to explore together.
Until next time on The Deep Dive.